great, and LeBron's my GOAT. I don't think he's as influential as like an Iverson, as a Kobe, or as a Curry. Um, he's a lot more talented than all three of them, but from that like influential standpoint, I think I had to give it to Curry as well.
I'm
And
sorry, we have to touch on that real quick. Since when is LeBron James your greatest of all time?
I thought we never brought this up because we agreed. Who's your
Nah,
greatest of all time?
no.
Manchester Rakovic?
LeBron James? LeBron James? No, heck no.
Okay, you
You
tell
say
me.
LeBron James is your goat?
Yeah, he has to be.
No,
Who's your goat?
no,
Is it Chris
has to
Webber?
be.
Jason
Chris
Williams?
Webber.
All these Kings
Chris Webber's
players from the
the
one
Chris
time you
Webber's
guys were
the
good?
he's the king of kings. Chris Webber's the king of kings, so everybody knows that. And so
Okay,
he
who's your goat? Is it
busted. But
Jordan or Kobe? Or
it's
Bob
Jordan.
Cousy?
Nah, I'm gonna go with Jordan. And LeBron James has a great argument.
Yeah,
Don't get me wrong. Like I think statistically speaking, like it's undeniable. For me, I think it's preference. I just wasn't excited to like watch him just like do layups and dunks for like the first 12 years of his career. So I was like, no one else can do that. Like so, it's just wasn't super exciting. And I think what did it for me, and this is like, I mean, we're talking about the two greatest players of all time. So obviously
right.
we're picking things apart with like a fine tooth comb, right? For
Yeah,
me, he lost any chance to convince me that he's the greatest of all time when he dropped 50 in the game one of the NBA Finals, where J.R. Smith like blew it by not knowing the score.
oh yeah.
Um, and then he went in when they were like showing the camera of him like off the court, like on the bench before like the overtime started, and you had Kyle Korver over here trying to like cheer him on and like being the leader on the team of like, hey, like we haven't lost, like the game's still going, and he's just sitting on the bench pouting and just sad and just like discouraged, and it's like, and then he went out and did nothing in overtime
Yeah,
for like the majority of everyone. And so for me, it was like, look, like I get it. That's kind of a bummer, like to have that happen to. But like the game wasn't over, and they would have lost 4-1. Like it wouldn't have changed anything.
yeah.
But like for me, it's the small things where I can't get past that. I was like the leadership quality, and he's a great leader, but like, no, I'm sorry, you can't do that to your team like that.
That's fair. I think you bring up a point that a lot of Jordan supporters make, where every conversation about how Jordan is better than LeBron is never statistical. It's never about basketball.
Mm-hmm.
It's about his characteristic as a person. It's about his like ability to lead, and then it just shows there. Like when you have to go that, it's like, oh, like this guy's better than this guy because he doesn't hit his wife. But so it's like, okay, sure, right? But like when you're not talking about sports, when you're not talking about statistics, like
Well,
you're
yeah,
trying to
because
find
if you want
excuses
to go
as to why
the
LeBron's
statistical
better.
route, if you want to go the statistical
It's
route,
LeBron.
LeBron,
It's by
Michael.
far LeBron if we're going
But
statistics.
if you take the peak, if you take like the peakest of peaks of LeBron, and you take the peak of Michael Jordan was better. Like statistically speaking, that's true. That's factual. The best version of Michael Jordan was better than the best version of LeBron James.
All right, I mean you can take a peek for one season, but I'm talking like one is longevity, right? To be able to do what he's doing for 20 years, to be practically 40 right now and still be one of the best players in the league, right? Dunking the ball the way he is, leading teams the way he is. Like
And
he
the
shouldn't
stats
even
thing is
be
hard
this
to
good.
the stats. No, you're right. No, I agree. I agree that the longevity of it, like he's number two. That's fine. It's not insulting to say he's number two, but the stats thing is hard to like argue as well. Because if you argue stats against any league from like 20 years from now, like 20 years ago, like whoever's playing now is obviously gonna have better stats than the
All
players
right,
that played before.
let me ask you this then: if LeBron came first and then Jordan came after, would Jordan still be the goat? No, that's it. That's the answer.
With the whoa, whoa, whoa! Can Can I
That's
think about
it.
it? Can I think
Go
about
ahead.
it?
Go ahead.
LeBron James' career would have ended like 8 years ago.
No, let's just say the same thing. He just came first. That's the reason that Jordan has a legacy, right? He has the shoes. He has the influence.
But the big argument for LeBron James is his longevity. Like he's obviously not the better player when you take the two peaks. So if you were to take LeBron James, you have to take in the argument of the longevity. And I'm saying if he would have played in an era where sports science it wasn't what it was today, to be able to rest and just take games off wasn't an option before. Like his career would have ended a lot earlier. He spends $1 million on his body.
He does, but also too. You tell me like
they make more money than they did before as well.
You tell me Brian Russell is in a guard LeBron James. Like you tell me like LeBron would cook all those guys in the '90s easily, even from his body type.
You can drop Kyrie Irving into the '90s and he would cook everybody. They're just better basketball players today.
Yeah.
Because
that's what I'm saying.
Game has evolved where they know
it's the same thing.
Yeah,
it's the same thing with Will Chamberlain, right? Will Chamberlain dominated his version of the NBA because he was the only black guy that was like super tall, that can jump high, right? And so he had no competition. So if you put LeBron James in the '90s, where he's having, because let's say Jordan's not there, right? And you put LeBron James there, like he's just gonna run through the league even more than he went through the league from 2003 to now. There's no question about it. Like, who's going to stop Reggie Miller?
Can you say without a fact, though? Like, knowing Michael Jordan's personality, though, could you say without a fact, if you gave him a goal to chase like LeBron James, if they were to switch spots, and then you gave Michael Jordan the technology and the knowledge of the game that we have now, and like, cool, start your career 20 years later, you know how dominant he would be right now if he was able to play in the rules that they play in now?
I mean, that's a good point. I'll give you that. That's a fair point. But first of all, when Jordan was playing, they couldn't even touch Jordan, right? They touched Jordan, and you see that clip of the referee. He's like, "Oh, did they foul you, Michael?
I believe you, Michael. Murder him.
I believe you, Michael. What are you saying, Michael?"
They weren't allowed to touch him after his attempted murder on the court.
Imagine
it's like, okay, imagine
if LeBron was playing like that, bro. LeBron doesn't get half the calls that he deserves because he's so big and strong. Pause. It doesn't look like he's actually like getting fouled, you know. But I don't know. That's a good point. I'll give it to you. That's a pretty fair point. But also, Jordan, as competitive as he is, doesn't seem to care about basketball in the same way that like a Kobe did, right? Because he was a gambler. He took his time to play baseball, right? That's a whole other conversation, whether he was suspended for something else than just retiring. But yeah. So I don't know. I get your point. I don't agree. I don't think he would do that. And I think this Jordan LeBron conversation is just going to go on forever, right? There's no answer to it.
No, there's no answer.
Unless
there's no way to debate it because all the points are correct.
Yeah. No, but unless LeBron just kind of does something crazy, right? Maybe he gets like 3 more chips before he retires, which I doubt is ever going to happen. But if he was, maybe that would be the case.
I'll tell you right now. He goes to Sacramento. He goes to Sacramento and wins a chip. He's my GOAT. He goes to Sacramento and he brings a chip to Sacktown. He's my GOAT.
Jesus come back.
That'd be the final test.
Win a championship in Sacramento.
Dude, that'd be the final test. It'd be like Brady going to join like the Jets.
I mean, that's what Aaron Rodgers did,
or the Browns. And he made it 6 seconds.
Hey, it's okay to last 6 seconds. I do sometimes. All right. Speaking.